Hey guys! Over the past few months we have looked at beauty tutorials from the 60s, the 50s and the 30s together, and today it is finally time to take a look at a makeup tutorial from the 1980s. Now I have kind of been putting this off because, as you may know, the 80s are not exactly my favorite decade when it comes to beauty looks, but I actually found something on YouTube which is pretty amazing. It's a tutorial from 1988 and it is by Barbara Dali, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It is an almost hour-long makeup tutorial where she demonstrates a full makeup look on a young girl and then a kind of middle-aged lady. And oh my gosh guys, this is so good. It is amazing. All I could think throughout watching this was this feels like this is literally 80s Lisa Eldridge. It is so good. Contrary to the previous tutorials, she is not a, male professor or a completely savage lady that has maids. No, this is actually a really nice lady that offers some amazing beauty advice. So today I'm going to watch it with you and I'm going to try and follow her beauty tips. Like I mentioned, the video is almost an hour long, so I am going to kind of skip a few parts. I'm going to skip through all the parts where she does makeup on the kind of middle-aged woman. But if you have the time and, this interests you, I highly encourage you to go watch the video in its entirety because it is so full of really good advice. I will have a link to the video in the description box below so you can go check it out yourself. But yeah, I am going to follow the kind of young skin tips today. Alright, this is a video in collaboration with The Body Shop. I believe Barbara was the face of their new makeup range back then, so that's kind of the context of this video. So they do emphasize, obviously cleaning the skin and everything.
Now the first stage of your makeup is probably going to be foundation. Now before you apply it, get used to using a damp cosmetic sponge. Dip the sponge into water or run it under the tap. Squeeze out the surplus liquid. Damp isn't soaking wet like that. Damp means take a tissue or a towel and give it a good squeeze like this to get out any excess water, because water of course will make your foundation streak. Then when it's just damp, you're ready to use your foundation. Take the foundation up with the sponge and then you're ready to begin by putting the foundation onto the middle of the face first. Always start by putting the foundation on the centre of your face, because you don't want a lot of foundation all over the edges of your face and into the hairline. You have to have somewhere to blend it to. Take a little bit of foundation.
I don't think these sponges are made to be dried with the tissue because it's now just
side of your cheek,
completely soaking up all of my foundation.
Here. If it's a good match, you won't get a tied line. A little over the eyelids, but not too much. Not too much under the eyes. That's good for every age. An absolute minimum amount of makeup around the eye area. And on Karen.
Alright, we're gonna skip over Karen. So that's foundation done. Nothing too special here, seems pretty similar to the way we do it nowadays. So I'm gonna skip on to the next section.
Whether you're using a foundation or not, you will probably want to use a concealer. This is a concealer. It's a kind of a solid sort of foundation. You can use it straight from the stick with your fingertips and draw it straight onto your face, but the best way is with a brush. You load it up like you would a lipstick. Make sure that any surplus just comes off on the back of your hand first, and then you apply it to the face. It's wonderful for just covering any dark shadows under the eyes. Just paint it on gently. You can see why it's a good idea to use a brush. If you drag the skin under your eyes, you can emphasize bags and wrinkles. And then don't rub, just pat the concealer into place with your fingertip. No dragging. And remember, concealer goes on over the top of your foundation or straight onto your skin after moisturizer. That's going to reduce any redness. And then blend it in with your fingertip. And again, use the brush to get in any nooks and crannies like this around the nostril. if you do happen to have any spots or blemishes,
Oh, I
like
do.
this one, you can just dot on concealer, press it in with your finger, and if you've got any red areas, you can just put concealer over them. Rather than using a thick layer of foundation, it's a much better idea to use a little bit of concealer and just blend it in with your finger like that.
Can only agree with that. Yeah, we're looking really good so far. It looks like a really nice kind of natural base.
Loose face powder. Modern powders like this are very light and transparent. We call them translucent, and translucent means see-through, so you can actually see your skin through it. But on the other hand, it doesn't create a thick mask-like appearance. It's very easy to use, and all you have to do is just shake a little into the palm of your hand, not the old flower bag look where you used to have absolutely masses all over the face. And then use a powder puff, dab it away on the palm of the hand, and then apply it to your face. As you did with the foundation, you do the same thing with powder, which is start in the centre of the face, because this zone here, we call it the T-zone, is normally the oiliest anyway. So press the powder, again, don't rub, just press it into your skin. Even if you're not wearing foundation, this is the right way to apply face powder. And just dab it around the centre area of your face, and then use what's left on the puff around the cheeks.
I feel like I don't even need to say anything just because this
And
is
then
so good.
very little,
Oh.
just look straight ahead, under the eyes. There's really nothing left now. I'm just using the last of what was on the powder puff. And before you start to do eye makeup, just run a little bit of powder over the lid. Takes away the grease and means that if you're using powder eyeshadows, they won't crease too easily afterwards.
I feel like I've said so little so far, sorry guys, but this is just really, really good advice and really easy to follow. It's not going too fast either, I can actually follow along. It's amazing.
Powder blush is probably the most popular kind of blusher to use, but it's also the one you can make the most common mistakes with, which is basically putting it on in the wrong place. If you try and shape your face with blush, all you'll have are big red streaks down here, or perhaps even under your chin. So remember, there's one really easy way.
I do feel like that's a very 80s thing to do though. That's probably why she's mentioning it.
A nice fat one is the best kind.
Nice fat brush.
Dust
I'm gonna
and
go with my
round
real
your powder
techniques.
blush, and then remember, and this is a good thing to remember with all the makeup that you do.
Oh my god.
Dust off the surplus on the back of your hand first, and then apply it straight onto the skin. Now you can see, if you've got the right kind of brush, it just does the work for you. And because it's in the right place, it actually shapes the face naturally. Eyeshadows contain talc and mica, which is a natural element mined from rock. Remember how I explained that your skin is made up of several different colours? Well, actually, the same is true of your eyes. Take a close look at your own eyes, and you'll see that they're made up of, well, up to 3 or 4 different colours. These colours can often be a clue as to the eyeshadow colours that you can use and will look good on you. Maxine has got what appears to be blue eyes, but if you look closely, they're actually dark grey around the edges and copper in the middle.
Alright, here we go. I have brown, I have green, a little bit of grey, and copper as well. I think I'm just gonna skip forward to the very end of this video just for a little bit, because there she explains what colors to use on brown eyes, and that's what I need. So I think I'm just gonna go all the way to the end here.
Brown eyes, because of their strength of natural colour, look good with almost anything. But violets contrast well and look especially good at night. Grey blue is also very effective, but don't choose pale or pearly colours.
Alright, so I personally like purple better than I do blue, so I have collected a few various shades of purple. So I have this like violety one in the center here, a more shimmery one up there. It's like a cooler purple. Some darker shades of purple here. This one right here is quite a dark, kind of muted purple as well. All right, I'm gonna go back to that eye makeup tutorial and see what to do with these.
Now I'm going to start off by using a copper eyeshadow on her eyelid first. I'm going to apply the eyeshadow with a brush. Load up your brush. Again, dust the surplus off on the back of your hand. This is a really good thing to remember always, because that way the surplus drops off onto the back of your hand and not all over your cheeks. And then onto the eyelid. You can blend with your finger, but it's a good idea to use brushes to blend if you want a really professional looking finish.
Oh, that's a different brush, isn't it? Okay.
Blue eyes and blue eyeshadow is really an old myth. In fact, blue can often deaden the colour of your eyes.
Remember,
So
they
try
said
and
that
use
in
a
the 50s video, I
contrasting
believe.
colour. Use a contrasting colour, or more than one colour, as I'm going to do today. This is an eyeshadow pencil. I've chosen a grey which matches the grey in Maxine's eyes, and I'm going to emphasise the shape of her eyes by darkening the outer edges of her upper lid. This is powder eyeshadow, so it blends very well with the shadow that I've put on already.
Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing, but with a darker purple instead of grey.
Eye shapes seem to be variable, but in fact, if you look at your own eyes and at someone else's, you'll notice for the most part the eye shape itself is more or less always the same. What does change is the area around it. Some people have a lot of lid here and some people just have a little bit. There's a good basic rule, which is anything that you highlight will stand out and anything that you darken will go back. When you're putting colour on the bottom of your eyelashes, don't go too far along, just halfway is far enough, then you've got somewhere to blend it to. Because blending is really important. Otherwise it's going to look like hard lines around your eyes. A nice big fat brush.
Oh, big
That'll
fat brush.
just do the job without having any particular skills at all.
Got it?
Gives you a really professional looking eye makeup. Use the edge of your brush to blend underneath your eyes, not the flat bit like that. Just run the edge right along the bottom lid. And make sure that you get the eyeshadow close to the lashes so that you haven't got a white line running too close to the lashes. And blend the two colours one into another. And that way what looked too dark before now looks nice and soft.
Okay, wait. Her eyeshadow was way less pigmented than mine. That is not fair. So now I do need to do some serious blending to get rid of this. Just like she just magically wiped all of that eyeshadow away. Oh my gosh. Okay, so my look turned out quite dark, but I think that's okay. I think I can take a bit of a darker eye. My hair's pretty dark, my eyebrows are dark, so it shouldn't look too super overwhelming.
Eyeliner or iDivine pencils can be used for emphasizing and lining your eyes. Sometimes they're called kohl.
Cool.
Keep it close to the lashes and don't close your eye, because you get little puckers all along the skin here and that makes it look ragged when you've finished. So keep your eye open. You can look down into a mirror and then draw the line really close to the lashes like this. And if you want to extend it at the outer edge, just look straight ahead into your mirror and just draw a little line, not a great big tick. I mean, that looks very old-fashioned. Now you can leave it in a line like that, but the best thing to do is to blend it. Now you can use your finger, just a clean fingertip, to run over the eye line, or better still, use a brush. The brush you blended your eyeshadow with, or put it on with, will be perfect.
Same one?
And that will blend the line into the eyeshadow so it looks nice and soft. And yet, it will emphasize your eye shape.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Wow.
Highlighters can be used for emphasizing any area of your face that you'd like to draw attention to. They're especially good for bringing out deep-set eyes, and they do make your eyes look soft and dewy. Highlighter pencil like this is really easy to use. Try not to use really stark white colours because they look very hard on the eye. So there's just a little bit drawn under the eyebrow bone, and then for that soft dewy look, a little V in the corner of your eye. And then of course you can't leave it like that, you must blend it. And the thing to do is to use a clean brush.
Oh, clean brush.
And just dust over the highlighter so that it blends into the eyeshadows you've already put on. And here in the corner of the eye. And then it really does look soft. The idea is to have a nice soft sheen, not a really hard, sharp highlight.
It does look amazing! I love this lady. I think this might actually be my favorite historical makeup tutorial we've done so far. Who would have thought? The 80s. Wow. Mascara.
Amongst the main ingredients of mascara are carnauba wax and beeswax, colour pigments, silk, almond oil, jojoba oil, and aloe vera from the aloe plant.
Mascara can be one of the most important items of eye makeup. It really does make a difference, and it's important to get it right. 1 or 2 carefully applied coats combed through with an eyelash comb are much more effective.
I used to have those as a child
clumpy mascara.
from my mom.
Always start with your top lashes and look down, and then draw the mascara brush right from root to tip, pushing upwards. That helps to curl it a little bit.
I'll take a second mirror here.
Do it slowly and carefully. Don't sort of jab at your eyes, because all that will happen is you'll push the brush into your eye. And if you find that they are sticking together at all you have to do is use your little comb and just comb the lashes through. It's a good thing to do this between coats anyway. It keeps them nice and feathery.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I used to have one of those brushes. My mom gave it to me when I was little, but I don't have that anymore. But I do have a little spoolie, so I think I'm just gonna use that. It's not exactly the same, but should do the job. Alright, so that's one coat. And now for my spoolie.
If you've always longed to use coloured mascaras,
Can't say I have.
and are worried because you think they might look too bright if they're used completely on their own, try mixing them with black or brown. Now for the bottom lashes, just run the mascara brush along the lashes, slowly and carefully, and then just comb them out with the end. You can use the full length of the brush like this, but you always run the risk of getting mascara on your nose at the side if you do.
So far, this is makeup that I could totally wear on a day-to-day basis.
Eyebrows frame the eyes and can be emphasized in a number of ways, with pencils and with eyebrow makeup. Use the little wedge-shaped applicator to pick up some of the eyebrow makeup and then dust the surplus off onto the back of your hand.
I'm just going to use
before
eyeshadow.
You apply it to the eyebrow. You can colour the hair and also just fill in any gaps and draw a little line at the same time. It's a very soft and natural way of emphasizing your brows.
Alright, so this is pretty standard as well. Basic eyebrow filling.
Lips are the final part of any makeup. They can be strongly defined or played down depending on your mood. But it is important to learn to put your lip makeup on properly because, as with eyeshadow, lipstick can help emphasize or alter the shape of your mouth. But if you do that, remember, don't overdo it. A good little trick before you start to do your lip makeup is just to put a little bit of highlighter here on the upper lip. It's the same highlighter that I used on Maxine's eyes. Draw it on. You don't want a white line, so rub your finger over it like that to make it soft. This makes the lips look a little bit fuller.
And then I'm going to use a lip pencil in a browny pink colour, a colour rather like a dark shade of natural lip colour, which is good for defining the mouth without having a strongly coloured line.
So she's not taking it all the way into the corner. I really like that.
Soften the depth of colour of line without spoiling the effect by gently running a clean fingertip over the line. Because I want a fairly unmade-up look, instead of using a lipstick, which is a much stronger colour, I'm actually going to use a lip tint.
I am going to use a lipstick. So I think I'm going to use the Carol portion of the video for this one. Karen. Yeah, name's Karen.
Lipstick makes all the difference to your look. A lot of people think that unless your face actually has lipstick on it, it's not made up at all. Now, I showed you on Maxine how you could use a lip pencil to alter the shape of your mouth. You can also do the same thing with a lip brush. A lip brush is really important, and it's a very good thing to learn to use if you want a nice clean, crisp edge to your lips. I've loaded the lip brush with a lipstick, and what you do is just draw the line along the edge of the mouth. You can extend it if you want to, but if you're going to overpaint the edge of your mouth, just do it by the merest hair's breadth, not very much at all. And don't try and draw with the point of the brush like this. That doesn't work. Use the flat edge. Lip brushes have chisel edges, so they'll actually make the shape for you. Don't try and draw the shape of your mouth by pursing your lips or trying to make your mouth a shape that it isn't naturally, especially if you want to do any correction of any kind. And then when you've got the line the way you want it to be, just fill in with the brush.
By the way, I chose this color because it was the kind of 80s cyst thing that I could find of all of my lipsticks, so it's not exactly the same as they're using in the video, but hey, it is pretty 80s, right?
These are the basic techniques of a professional makeup. Of course, there's no rule that says you have to do all of the makeup all of the time. You can incorporate any of the lessons you've learned into your daily routine.
Ooh, the music! Yeah, that brings us back to full 80s. Anyway, that is it! So I think I'm just gonna let down my hair, see what this looks like with 2018 hair. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of color and it still looks pretty 80s, but I think that's entirely my own fault because instead of like coppers and grays and like a nice kind of peachy toned brownish lipstick, I used purple and pink. So yeah, I could have definitely downplayed the colors a bit, but all in all, I think this looks really good. This is a very, very nice basic makeup. Really easy to follow. I think it looks great. Thank you, Barbara. That was really useful. So like I mentioned, if you want to watch the whole thing, which is definitely worth your time, then I will link to it in the description box below. But I guess I'm gonna end the video here because my look is done. So I really hope you enjoyed doing actual 80s makeup with me. If you did enjoy, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for loads more beauty and lifestyle content. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, there's a link in the description box below. Thank you so much for your support. There's another video here that you may also enjoy. You can go watch next. Thank you for watching and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye!